Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome on behalf of the Leadership Development and Nominating Committee. Our committee has organized the service for today. Our goal is to make you all aware of the many activity groups that are available here at the UU Church of Amherst. Sunday services are a very big part of what happens here, but so are the weekly or the monthly meetings when we make the chance to meet in small groups and pursue a common goal or simply get to know each other better. Your interests could be reading or outreach or gardening or witch dancing, maybe. Some activity groups are new, some follow a current interest, but many others are well established. They all will give you a chance to connect with others, to deepen your relationship to our beloved church community. Whatever your interests are, the chances are very, very good that you will find kindred spirits here. My name is Jackie Senders. I've been a member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst for 11 years. I currently serve the church as a Sunday usher and as a member of the Leadership Development and Nominating Committee. I've been a member of this lovely church since I moved back to Western New York in 2013. But I have also belonged to churches in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Texas. I think that makes me some kind of an expert. So I can tell you that our Unitarian Universalist path of spiritual life experiences is welcoming, adaptable, compassionate, and very strong wherever you find it. I happily found acceptance and a place in each of the churches I just mentioned, and the same thing happened here in Amherst. I felt so confident of that expectation that when I moved here and was looking for a home to purchase, I drew a 30-minute circle around the UU Church of Amherst, and I limited my search to that area alone. I knew it was a good decision. I've never looked back. Thank goodness I am no longer such a rolling stone, and I expect to be right here, loving this church for a long, long time. Throughout my years of membership in UU churches, I've experienced great fulfillment by working with other congregants on a wide variety of projects. My favorite point of entry has always been in the kitchen, washing and drying dishes. It is, I guarantee, a great way to meet people. Whether I was serving a community meal, planning a service, or participating in a fundraiser, these experiences have allowed me to connect deeply with others who share my interests and my goals. And I could see that our efforts, even if they were minor, played an important part in the successful running of our church. I've made wonderful friends, of course, but I've also grown in experience and confidence. As a religion, we have a proud history of leadership and service in many areas, and especially in the promotion of human rights. I feel proud of both our public and private faces. Within these walls, we seek to support each other as we grow into the best of our traditions and beliefs. And then, together, we present that face to the world. Two great examples of service are the Little Free Pantry and the Clothing Ministry. Without any limitations, our doors are open to all who have the need for the food or the clothing that we can provide. And these opportunities are just the beginning. You will hear much more from the presenters who follow. From time to time, I've been fortunate enough to fulfill a leadership role within some of the various committees and groups. It has always been very rewarding and demanding, always. It's a little like parenting, I think. You've probably heard that line, parenting is the most frustrating job you will ever learn. I hope that this will be your experience as well, that your contributions to our united effort will increase your confidence and fulfillment, and that you will come to see yourself as one of those vital small parts that keep all of the machinery running for this beloved congregation. Today, we're offering you an overview of some of the many, many activities. Suzanne Crisp will introduce our speakers. Listen carefully. I hope that something will capture your interest or excite your soul and put you on your path of connection, growth, community, and perhaps leadership. Thank you.
Each week, we bring our whole selves into the sacred place, our joys, concerns, and sorrows. The table where we gather is at the center of the space, a symbol of the community that is the heart of UU Amherst. I invite you to come forward and place a stone or shell on the table labyrinth in recognition of all that you bring and all that you are. May we remember that we are called to heal and bring love to the broken places. Please come forward. I place the final stone in recognition of the joys, concerns, and sorrows of those who are participating online. You are embraced by this community.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Suzanne Christ, and today I am standing here as a member of the Leadership Development and Nomination Committee. But this is only one of many hats I've worn since I joined this church in January of 2008. Thank you, Marlena, for that beautiful story. Today, I have the privilege of introducing to you a very special group of leaders from within our church. Each of these leaders represents one or more teams or events that happen right here. You may also note that each has a different colored flower they will add to our beautiful blue vase. I will talk more about that later. Right now, I ask that each leader come forward to introduce yourself and tell us about the group or groups you represent, the joy your participation brings to you, and the service it provides to our church and our larger community. Wendy Scott, would you start us off, please?
Know me as Wendy Scott. I'm here to talk about the Green Justice Team, but I have to say a word or two. I'm not very visible as a member of the Board of Trustees, but I am very visible as Ms. Coffee. So I would like to say thanks to my partner in crime, Ron Palmieri, because we're always around doing coffee on Sunday morning. However, I'm going to say something a little formal and a little informal about the Green Justice Team. This group is a central part of the church's mission, and I'll remind everybody of the seventh principle, which states that the UU practices respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. And we can see this every time we turn our heads. In carrying this out, the congregation's many activities allow you to be active in ways that appeal to you. And these include, but are not limited to, the Living Green Festival, the Insight Speaker Series, the Green Sanctuary, recycling projects, which are confined to this church and also the municipality, paper recycling, solar panels that provide us with electricity, rain barrels in the Debbie Waterhouse Ecology Center out back with labyrinths you may or may not be familiar with. And one of the latest project is that we have become a Farmer Pirates compost pickup site. There is not time this morning to describe all of these and the other things, but you may find out by asking me or other people. There are many people on the Green Justice Team. More informally, I'd like to say that, well, it's a cliche now that we live in an anxious time on many fronts, but what time is in history has never been anxious. And we can't do much to change the world, but we can work on our little corner of it, and we can take care of our property. We can plan projects, such as I have enumerated, and in doing so, we have a very good time. We meet friends, we learn interesting and useful information, we enjoy the bit of nature that we have, all 11.6 acres of it, and just in general, enjoy ourselves and have a useful time. So I heartily encourage you to see if there isn't some little corner of an activity that you would enjoy being part of. Some of these things go on all the time. Some of these things are seasonal, and some just come up once in a while. Back to the more formal stuff, the team is still in the process of regrouping post-COVID. Most of our efforts in 23 and 24 have gone into launching and consolidating our Living Green Festival and this year's Insight Speaker Series. We look forward to reforming, something I'm going to do early in the new year, and adding to the member list, and then getting together and reorganizing projects and see who's interested and who wants to do what. So look for some emails. Thank you.
My name is Diane Tucker, and I'm with the Clothing Ministry, and I'm proud to say I'm wearing it. So whoever donated this, thank you, because it was just lovely. The Clothing Ministry is a charitable arm of the church, but it's also to keep clothing out of landfills. And we affectionately call our group Out of the Closet. Our clothing ministry started in 2020 when we had a lot of stuff in the basement left over from a planned rummage sale that never really happened. So the idea was to set up a rack outside and put things out and see if people wanted them, because after all, if you can't afford food, you probably need clothes too. So that wound up being a pretty popular thing to do. We upgraded the rack over time, and then we put out a request to the congregation. We need coats, we need boots, we need hats, and boy, do we need gloves. And we kept putting them out and running out of everything. Boy, did we need coats. And by the way, we still do. So in the summer then, all right, no more coats. We put out sandals, we put out bathing suits, we put out underwear and socks, and we still got rid of it. So the need was great. We were careful that everything we put out was clean and in good condition, and something that we would wear ourselves. So then we asked to put a small cabinet next to the food pantry so we could put purses and shoes and jewelry in it, and lo and behold, that went too. And as it grew, we reached out to other charities. We reached out to mothers in need with newborn babies downtown and donated to them. We reached out to Gowns for Prom and donated to them. And Colvin Cleaners said, oh, I'll make a deal with you. You send us the gowns, we'll send you clothes, clean, folded, in monster boxes that Barry Kent could barely lift. And so we got clothes. And now we estimate that we have probably saved about 5,000 or more units of clothing and accessories out of landfills in one calendar year. So that's every year. So today we've got our little Christmas store out front. These were generously donated brand new items. You don't need it, but someone else does. And so we are using the money. This is the first time we've done a fundraiser that doesn't go immediately back into the coffers of the church. We're using it to buy sturdy racks because the coats are breaking our racks and our backs. So please help us today by doing a little holiday shopping, and we'd love to have you join our group as well. Thank you.
I'm Marie Evans, and I'm going to be wearing 3 hats up here this morning, although I didn't bring props at all. So first up is the Amherst Little Free Pantry, which is right next to the clothing ministry. It's always open and self-serve. It's a daily labor of love to keep it stocked, both purchasing items, organizing donations, and getting them out into the cabinet for users. Because our volunteers come only once a day and there's no way to limit how much any one person takes, there are times when those cabinets are empty, kind of like the clothing racks. The motto of all Little Free Pantries is take what you need, leave what you can. We do get some interesting things left behind. The Little Free Pantry movement is a grassroots, crowdsourced solution to local food deficits. Our team has formulated our own mission. We strive towards food justice by sharing nutritious food with those in our community who experience food insecurity, affirming the worth and dignity of all, which rolls right into the first of the UU principles that we used to follow. So why a Little Free Pantry? Food insecurity knows no boundaries. Families and people in need often make trade-offs between food, basic necessities, bills, medical expenses, transportation. Some people in need don't qualify for traditional eligibility-tested, staffed food pantries. So we don't keep any records about our users, but we have learned through comment cards and some of our interactions that they're people of all ages experiencing underemployment, domestic strife, disability or health challenges, or homelessness. So anyone can use Amherst Little Free Pantry. There's no residency requirement, no questions asked, no ID, no paperwork, qualifications necessary. And anyone can help Amherst Little Free Pantry. You can donate and kind of informally, bring grocery items, dry goods, or things that won't freeze in our unheated storage. Financial contributions, one time or ongoing. Refund the pantry. We have barrels in the back by the dumpster enclosure and the compost drop-off that you can bring returnable bottles and cans, and we have someone who takes them back, and it's actually quite a successful fundraising operation. If you get takeout and you don't use the utensils or the condiments, we'll take them, they go. If you travel and there's sample-sized toiletries in the hotel or the Airbnb, bring them back with you, we'll use them. And some people actually use their health insurance plans. If they have that shopping benefit, that if they've got enough of their stuff, they'll order some stuff for us, like lotions and shampoos. We need publicity, especially anybody who might donate or corporations that might donate. And we need volunteers. We have one-time and ongoing jobs. Some are here, some are at home. You can do them solo, with a friend. There's some small group activities, and there's also outreach to the community. There is a whole list here. There are things to do in person. There are things to do at home. There are things to do on the computer. There are things to do out in the community. And if you'd like to learn more, we'll be meeting at noon today in the hallway outside the library living room at the bottom of the staircases for the second floor, and we're going to do a quick volunteer orientation. Pantry volunteers get the satisfaction of knowing their time and effort makes a real difference in people's lives. We see firsthand how much this ministry is needed. I've personally had the experience, if I'm here for a half an hour, 4 people will come and take things out of the pantry. When I talk to people out in the public, they're often surprised by the concept. They've never heard of such a thing, and they're willing to contribute. The generosity of our donors renews my faith in the goodness and compassion of mankind, and we have fun together, bringing new fundraising ideas into being, like the witch dance. So now I'm going to change over to book club. UU Amherst Book Club meets monthly after the service from September through May on the last Sunday, and once over the summer for a potluck luncheon. We alternate between a common read book and a topic where each person chooses their own book to read. Some of the topics we've discussed this year were Any Book by Anne Lamott, Time, Disability, and our specific books were Lessons in Chemistry, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, The Dictionary of Lost Words, and Haggitude. During our summer get-together, we took turns reading out loud from the book Two Old Women. And we had an unusual opportunity this year to be first readers of Wild Bliss, which is a book that's written by our office administrator, Elaine Harrigan. And she joined us to talk about the process of writing the book and getting it published. So we welcome all to our gatherings, whether or not you've done the reading. Books are a wonderful way to bond with other people and have interesting discussions. We share not only thoughts, but experiences and memories that relate to the themes in the books. And our group was founded by the late Grace Little as a way to foster our personal acquaintance into a friendship, which it most certainly did, and then we extended that to other people. And finally, theater lovers. We have the opportunity to attend Jewish Repertory Theater's plays at a discount. And I organized a group outing once during the run of each show to go to a Sunday matinee performance and then dinner afterwards together at Libro's Italian Restaurant. Jewish Rep chooses 3 scripts per season. It's a mix of comedies and dramas, and it features some of the best actors in town. We get tickets for $30 each, which is a significant savings over the box office price of $48 each. And this summer, a couple of us even got together to go to Shakespeare in Delaware Park, and that's a free event, and we carpooled and we brought our own picnic fare. So Theater Lovers is one more way to build connections with other people, and the plays give us a starting point, a starting topic for our dinner conversation, and then other conversation just naturally flows.
Hi, I am Lorraine Marcus. I have been asked to talk about the Villages, UU University Sunrise Sessions, and Church of the Wild, which will be morphing into creative meditation and conversations in January. Villages are online gatherings, primarily social, that had its origins in the pandemic. There are 3 still going, 2 meeting weekly and 1 that is more or less monthly. And they are on Zoom. UU Sunrise Sessions is also online, and that meets Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning. It's a check-in followed by a conversation stimulated by an inspirational thought that we get from Daily Compass from the Church of the Larger Fellowship, which is a offspring of UU, the larger UU Association. Church of the Wild, which finished up the last Sunday of November, provided an opportunity for meditating, walking the trails and labyrinths in the Debbie Waterhouse Ecology Center, Sundays at 9:30 in the morning, from late spring until, like I just said, the last Sunday of November. Got a little brisk. Weather did not stop us, rain, whatever. We dressed for the weather. We were very regular. So those are the 3 programs that I kind of facilitate. It's more of a facilitation than a running. I turned to the UUA website looking for what these 3 groups have in common, and I found that they actually represent a religious practice. Unitarian Universalism, and more importantly, UU Amherst, is more than 10:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning. It is what we do 7 days a week, living our faith by doing. With respect to the Villages, Sunrise Sessions, and Church of the Wild / creative meditation, it is connection and care, creating caring outreach and mutual support for each other, for those who participate in these groups, and creating change in ourselves and in each other. So I welcome anybody to check these out. These are open groups. You can drop in, you can come in daily, you can come, whenever they're offered. Then you can find for these Villages and Sunrise Sessions, you just have to check out either the newsletter or the Friday update to get access to them. So check us out. And for the creative meditation conversations that's going to start up in January, just have to wake up early enough and show up at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday. So check us out.
Hello, everybody. I won't make a short joke. I am Linda Joy Grote, and I have lots of hats, too. I have been a member of this congregation for, I think, coming up on 25 years now with my husband, Eric. We have 5 children, and all of them have a good dose of UUism in them. I lead, I guess, 2 groups. One of them is called Connections, and to me, Connections is really the heart of what makes us who we are. It's a group of people that want to be intentionally welcoming to newcomers and gathering people that have been here already and knitting them all together in a nice little package. The mission of the Connections team, which we developed, is to intentionally develop a welcoming and inclusive community where all ages can explore a personal path to spirituality, and to provide opportunities that nourish deep connections, individual growth, and wholeness. Anyone is welcome to join our team. Sometimes we break off into little subgroups to accomplish certain tasks. We meet in person and online, and we work together via email. We help fill the volunteer schedule, so Sunday mornings run smoothly, and we have a volunteer spreadsheet that we maintain that does that we encourage people to sign up for, all the different jobs that make things work. We actively look for new faces at coffee hour and start conversations. We work together with Faith Development to support families with children and youth. There are lots of ways to be involved, from big to small. Let Linda Joy know, me. If you want to be added, we have a Google group that we put out information, an email. You can let me know. So the goals of our team, like I said, are to welcome newcomers and nurture current congregants, to connect people quickly to meaningful relationships and interests, to develop programs and activities for all ages, including youth, to grow membership in the congregation, and to recruit, train, and support volunteers who serve our congregation. We have some priorities for 2025. Making website improvements. I've done some research. Lots of you know that I really love my research. On our connection cards, people fill them out, and it translates to little graphs that most people are finding us on the internet or with family and friends. And so I feel like the improvements to the website are really important to make sure that people can access the information that they're looking for. Empowering our congregation is our second goal for the year. Training for inclusivity and community growth. We're committed to providing training that enhances our congregation's ability to be more welcoming and inclusive. Our goal is to foster an environment where we can grow together and nurture both our members and the broader community. The Unitarian Universalist Association, which is our national group, has wonderful resources for us to use, and I'm going to offer some more information on training. There's a particular one that I'm interested in, which is called Tending the Congregational Life, and that is it's maybe about, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 hours of training, but it covers all aspects of the congregation, and I welcome anyone who would like to be involved in that to look for the information of it coming. That's Connections. I also offer leadership in the gardening area. We have lots of beds around our campus, and they were lovingly tended by the late Betty Howell and her team. And I noticed that it was really difficult to keep them up, so I wanted to start that. Also, Angela Warren, who was our Faith Development Director, had been tending a lot of them, and she's not doing that now. So I was worried about it, and I started encouraging people to pay attention to it. So now we have a nice community garden, which is in the front. We've got lots of different things growing, not now, but usually, but it'll be time to replant, and now I've got a nice little core team, so anyone that's interested in learning about gardening or being part of it, just getting your hands in the soil. We work with the kids in the spring to start planting seedlings, and we really enjoy that. So our mission is to offer positive experiences for adults and youth, learn about plant development, soil, and gardening, and just to enjoy being outside. If we grow things that we can share in our food pantry, that's a plus. So anyone's welcome to join. We offer structured opportunities to garden together, and also people do it on their own. And we welcome and encourage input and leadership. We'll be having a planning meeting along with the larger grounds committee, which talks about the entire campus and how we manage that, on January 31st and at 3 o'clock, and you're welcome to join that. So let me know. Again, we maintain a Google group for that, and let me know if you'd like to join. And the third thing that I do is I coordinate, I really like Brene Brown, since Michelle introduced me to her, and she's a social worker that does research in difficult emotions like empathy and vulnerability. And I've like to lead another group based on her book, one of her books. I'm not sure which one yet, but I'm just gathering interest. So if you see that in the newsletter and the weekly update and you'd like to be part of that, which is really more of an individual exploration within a group context, let me know also. So thank you.
Well, you've been hearing a lot of things we do in this church, and now I've got to find my little script. Mine is short. I've been a member for 41 years. I just did the math. And I came for my children and I stayed for myself. It is a wonderful place to be. I've found so many friends here. And I've had many responsibilities. Making coffee, being on the board. And I'm talking to you today about two other things that I'm doing now. One of them is called Poetry as Practice. This group started, I'm Marlena Rice, by the way, sorry. My flower. The first one I'm going to talk about is Poetry as Practice. This group started several years ago and continues to meet once a month. In fact, we meet today. You do not have to love poetry to attend. In fact, last month, someone said, well, I don't like poetry, but you don't have very many people here, so I'm coming. And they actually enjoyed it. So it's kind of cool. We're a group of people who gather and listen and discuss a poem and talk about its deeper meaning. We gather on the second Sunday of each month, today, in the living room, and we either use one poet's work or we have a consistent theme being addressed by different poets. That's what will happen today. Today we have Rumi and Anais Nin. It should be interesting. The topic is transformation. This group was started to give folks in the church a chance to connect by looking at and discussing poetry from various authors and offering their own reflections. And I have learned so much from someone else's understanding of a line or a meaning. It's brought me deeper understanding. I personally find that poetry as a practice is very enjoyable, and that this group helps me deepen my understanding of the world around me. We are a group of people who find meaning and inspiration in the words of others. Please join us at noon on the second Sunday of each month in the living room for Poetry as Practice. We meet today, and all are welcome, and no prep is needed. The second group that I'm going to talk about is our covenant groups. A covenant is an agreement or promise to act together in harmony. We have wonderful covenant groups within the church. These are groups formed to allow and promote discussion and connection, and discussion on topics such as generosity, integrity, equity, and for this month, it's transformation also. The material we use are provided by our national organization, the UUA, and part of the material is called Soul Matters. Our groups meet once a month, either at church or in someone's home, and provide for intimate fellowship and conversation. The composition of these groups is both male and female, with the number within each group approximately 8, but some are less and some are more. This number allows the members to all feel that they are being heard and held close. These are wonderful meetings in which the members can share their experiences on a topic while being guided by questions from the literature provided. The discussions within these groups are deep and very meaningful, with members looking forward to each meeting. If this sounds interesting to you, please talk with our minister, Michelle Buhait, who is here in our congregation this morning, to discuss joining or starting your own group. Thank you very much.
I'm Ron Palmieri, and I make the coffee for the coffee hour after service. Whoa, thank you. More importantly, I'm with the Caring for One Another team. Our mission is to do what we can to contribute to the church's mission, which is to foster more compassion and to help build a beloved community. To briefly summarize our goals, first, to stay in touch with homebound or shut-in members with visits or phone calls so that they do not feel like they've been forgotten. To send cards to members for various occasions. to provide and coordinate rides to church when requested and when there's a volunteer available to help out. To offer a meal for an individual or a family when notified of a need. To provide monthly meal recipes in the monthly forward that include vegan and gluten-free alternatives. To be a coalition church with the nonprofit Hearts and Hands program through an annual Sunday service, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks, and a plate collection. If you have any questions about our caring team or would like to join us, please contact me after this morning's service or by phone or email. I'm in the directory. Again, the main purpose of our Caring for One Another team is to foster more compassion and to help build a beloved community. Thank you.
My name is Peggy Cook, and I am actually only been a member here at the U since July, though I have been a friend of the U for 8 years. But in July, I got angry and decided that I needed to join the church if I was going to be effective in working on programs. And so at that point with Ruth Bowen, I went to Reverend Michelle and said, we need to do something about justice in our world right now. At this point, Lorraine Marcus, Robin Barnes, and myself are the leaders of the recently formed Justice Advocacy Team. Our vision is to provide advocacy and education for ourselves, as well as the community at large, in light of the proposed changes in our governmental structures. Our long-term goal is to support vulnerable populations that would be negatively impacted. We're doing these things through presenting educational programs, offering access to seminars and workshops offered within the UUCA as well as other advocacy groups, and also beginning outreach with other churches and nonprofits to strengthen collaboration for community good. If you would enjoy learning more about how we can make an impact in our community, enjoy outreach work, or would like to have a voice with our representatives, feel free to reach out to Lorraine, Robin, or I about some of the tasks we're currently undertaking. This next Saturday at 9 o'clock here at the U, we will be hosting the gathering of a couple of community groups to talk about what is happening and to begin to design an idea of how we can all work together in the community as well as within the church in trying to pull together an idea of where we're moving forward from here, because moving forward is what we need to do and make a difference with what's going to happen. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marge Marcial to talk about the women's group. There's been a women's group here at our church for decades in various forms. Currently, we are a group varying in size from 8 to 16. COVID changed our meetings, resulting in us meeting on Zoom for most of the month. We discuss many topics from events around the world, in America, New York State, our counties, our villages, and our church. Zoom allows us to continue to keep in contact with the couple snowbirds in the group. But on the first Tuesday of the month, we meet in person in the Emerson Room for a lunchtime chat. We keep in touch with how everyone has been doing during the week before, and sometimes the conversation goes to the mystery of why our refrigerators keep breaking down. If you are free on Tuesdays at 12:30 p.m. and would like to connect with this great group, Check the forward and the weekly email for the schedule and the link to the Zoom meeting. I will send you, if you're on my list, I'll send you a notice on Monday night to come and join us. We'd love to have you.
The UU Amherst Church is now 70 years old, and my parents brought me here when I was 10 years old. You know, they had church school. I've liked being a member ever since then. It's been wonderful. My father and a number of male UUCA church members were getting together and having coffee and a snack once a week at Walter's Bakery to have discussions about our church and anything else. After my father passed away in 1999, I contacted the group to see if I could join them, and they invited me for the weekly meeting. Even though a number of other members of the group at that time have passed away or moved from Western New York, more men from our church have also joined the group, and we still have a weekly Thursday meeting for lunch at Walter's. Now, the members are Hinnie Martins, Bob Wack, Ed Amirian, Dave Stroud, and Irv Laub. And my brother Randy is also showing up at times. We are still having good discussions about our church and other things that are going on in this country, and it continues to help us get things done in church and plan any other get-togethers. In addition, my brothers Randy, Barry, and I began another UUCA men's group that has coffee and snacks at Dashes on Tuesdays. Other church attendees at this are Rich Marciel, Tom Langen, and Per Rolsvik. And Joe Cusker was also with us before he moved with his wife to Massachusetts. Again, we laugh, enjoy comments, and learn what's going on in the world. And I hope you're all having discussions with other church members. Thank you.
As you can see, our beautiful blue vase is now filled with all different beautiful colored flowers. These represent the variety of hands it takes to form our teams and events, creating something remarkable. Each of these leaders have given you a glimpse of what they, along with all our other volunteers who work together with them, have and continue to accomplish. Their cohesive and caring efforts bring us together and move us forward. They promote self-care, growth, and generosity of spirit that enrich the lives of our church, community, and our wider community. For this, we sincerely thank you and the volunteers you represent.
And now please rise in body and spirit as we sing our closing blessing. Remain standing afterwards for the benediction.
May the road
worship need not cease. It can echo in our lives, in our deeds, in our moods, in our dreams. Carry the echo with you wherever you go. Be a blessing. Amen.